Cuphead. It's a game that many have played, but few have decided to conquer. Now, you might be asking yourself, why does Trevor Treefort want to watch a Summoning Salt video about Cuphead? Well, it turns out Trevor Treefort actually has a history with speedrunning himself. In fact, when Trevor Treefort was in his prime, he used to be the 67th best Breath of the Wild speedrunner in the world. Not in the region, in the world. So does he have a little experience with speedrunning? Yes. And guess what other game Trevor Treefort picked up? Cuphead. Don't believe me? Go to @TrevorTreeClips on YouTube, look up his most recent clip, which is him imitating the flower. Don't believe me that he got involved with Cuphead? So it's only a matter of time before Trevor Treefort picks up the game Cuphead for speedrunning-wise, and decides to become the #1 Cuphead player in the entire world. This is the history of Cuphead speedrunning. All right, seriously, YouTube, it's time to actually watch this. Clock in here, guys.
This video contains flashing lights that may affect viewers with photosensitive epilepsy. Viewer discretion is advised.
That's the guy! Guys, don't believe me? Don't believe me that I can imitate that flower? Don't believe me? Hang on.
Cuphead is a hard video game. Like, a really, really hard game.
What do you gotta say now?
You're tasked with fighting boss after boss, each one harder than the last, as you work your way across 3 islands.
Is this in 1080p?
All the while, there's a non-stop barrage of attacks. Get hit more than a couple times, and you're dead. It was honestly one of the toughest gaming experiences
I hate
I've
that
ever
queen!
had. And yet, there are people who speedrun it, and make the game look completely trivial.
I didn't realize Blood was watching my stream, guys.
Since its release in 2017, Cuphead has had a big speedrunning scene. These guys race each other to beat the game as fast as humanly possible. They use tricks, glitches, and countless other techniques to
that's pretty. Wait, what the hell
game.
was that? That was pretty cool. Hang on.
They use tricks, glitches,
What the hell is that? They're like below the terrain.
And countless other techniques to fly through the game. And it is a punishing speedrun. One piece of bad luck, one accidental hit, and your run can come crashing down.
Is there RNG in Cuphead? It's like pretty much the same thing every time. I guess it's RNG based on the boss's attacks order, but does that really count?
The world record speedrun has had lots of competition, and over the years it is completely transformed. This is the history of Cuphead.
Vindicator rose with the Cuphead. Okay, let me try manually here. I'll go to 720p and then I'll go back to this one. Yeah, it definitely doesn't seem like it, right?
World records.
That seems 1080p. The footage doesn't seem 1080p.
And now a word from this video sponsor, War Thunder.
Yes! War Thunder! War Thunder! Guys, hang on. Give me a second.
War Thunder is the most comprehensive video combat game ever made. And the best part, it's available for free on PC, console, and mobile devices.
Guys, warthunder.com/summoningsalt.
You can play as over 2,500 different tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships of 10 major nations. They're as old as biplanes and armored cars of the 1920s, and as new as fighter jets and battle tanks of today. The combat
This is fair
intense.
to force you guys
The
to watch
detailed
this
vehicles,
because I'm
combat, and graphics
leeching off of
really
Summoning
make you
Salt's
feel
content.
right at the helm of your vehicle. What's cool about War Thunder is there's a game style for you no matter what type of gamer you are.
What?
There's the fast
Wait, so if I don't care about skill trees, there's even things for me?
paced matches of arcade, the beautiful authenticity of simulator, and the middle ground option of
Guys, imagine arcade, another S word in simulator. Arcade, guys, arcade synthesizer simulator. It would spell ass as an acronym.
realistic. However you want to play, you'll find it
Guys,
here.
two
Join the more
based.
than 95 million
Cereal.
gamers playing War Thunder. To play for free on PC.
Okay, just to be clear, what I said was not funny, but how you guys are reacting to it is funny.
PC, console, or mobile, click on my links in the pinned comment or video description below. New players and those who haven't played in 6 months get a massive bonus pack on PC and console. It includes multiple
limited time offer. Wait a minute.
The exclusive vehicle decorator, Eagle of
7
Valor.
days. When did this video come out? When did this video come out? I didn't realize. What the hell? I didn't realize that I had not watched this for that long.
100,000 Silver Lions and 7 days of premium accounts. Thanks to War Thunder for sponsoring this video.
Guys, everyone right now, go to warthunder.com /ass and use discount code Summoning Salt.
In late September 2017, it was an immediate smash hit with speedrunners. At the time, most popular speed games were older, as it was typically a
I guarantee about half of you guys don't even know
at the time
what game this is. What game is this, guys?
Most popular speed games were older, as it was typically a generation rediscovering games from their childhood. But Cuphead was different. Within days of its release, speedrunners were all over it. Famous players like Distortion 2 and The Mexican Runner set world records in the game's main category, all bosses.
Habemos world record! Habemos world record, boys!
Cuphead speedruns became a viral sensation.
What?
It was a run filled with glitches, allowing speedrunners to
Guys,
beat
I speak
bosses
Spanish. What did he say? Habemos? World record?
in a fraction of the time that developers intended. Most of these glitches revolved around one trick, the weapon swap glitch. In Cuphead, you equip 2 weapons that you can switch between. Each weapon has a cooldown that limits how fast each bullet comes out. For instance, the Lobber has a bullet that comes out every 21 frames.
Here's what I will say, guys, and feel free to be as ruthless as you want, okay? VodFrogs, this is your chance. VodFrogs, open the evil floodgates of verbal abuse if you want. I just had almost no interest in buying any weapons. But what's the problem with that? You know what I mean? Can you guys help me understand what's the problem with that? I just was comfortable with what I already had, you know? I had the auto locking one, and then I had the pea shooter. But like, okay, guys, just tell me this. Can you tell me why you guys get angry about it? I just don't understand. You know what I mean? Tell me why you're angry about me not using other weapons. I would genuinely love to hear it. Genuinely. I'd love to hear why it makes you angry.
Now initially, this cooldown
you know what I mean? What's the
global,
problem?
Meaning after firing the Lobber, you could switch to your secondary weapon and fire that, and the Lobber's 21 frame cooldown would still be active. You could just switch between weapons over and over and fire much faster than normal.
Oh, that's cool.
This was the weapon swap glitch, and it allowed you to completely obliterate bosses, even skipping certain phases of the fight.
That's pretty cool, actually.
It was a thriving speedrun community. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Because on December 1st, 2017, the developers released a patch that devastated some Cuphead speedrunners. They fixed several glitches that speedrunners used, but the most important change was the weapon cooldown went from being global to only being active when the weapon...
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that twice. I was holding down on my F5 key. I did not mean to do that twice, and I actually didn't even know I could do that.
...was out. This destroyed the weapon swap glitch, as you could only build cooldown on one weapon at a time. The ultimate result was the leaderboard being split into 2 categories, a legacy version, where you play on the original version with weapon swap glitch, and version 1.1, where you play on the patched version. Both are still speedran today, but at this point the more popular category is 1.1, and that's what we're
Really? Okay.
on. So, our story begins in early December 2017, with the news of the patch still resonating throughout the community.
You taking the weapons and making the choices that we've made validates us. But like, aren't you comfortable with your own decision, regardless of who else is agreeing with you?
While players and moderators were still busy debating how the patch would impact the
Gen Q.
categories and rules, a few decided to try speedrunning the patched version to see what they could get. The first to put in a serious attempt was a player named Alpha Kong, the 51st ranked speedrunner on the unpatched version. His run had a lot of deaths, and was only the record for 1 day.
51st ain't nothing compared to my 67.
On December 3rd, a 13-minute improvement was performed by a player named Luigi100. Luigi was a record holder in various side categories on the pre-patch version of Cuphead. Compared to that, 1.1 had very few glitches available, so they were banned outright for 1.1, and the category was named glitchless. A lot of YouTube commenters don't like glitches, and prefer to see games played as they were originally intended. And
bro, here's what I will say: if you spend your life trying to please YouTube commenters, then you're gonna end up just becoming depressed. Okay, that's what I will say. Just do you, you know?
Luigi kind of agreed. He was excited to try running the game in a cleaner, less broken way. On December 3rd, he set a world record of 36:57, and to understand this run, we first need to understand the framework for a Cuphead speedrun. The goal of Cuphead is to make your way through the 3 aisles before ultimately defeating the devil at the end. One very important concept is the weapons you choose to use.
That devil fight was really cool.
In Cuphead, you start with the pea shooter, but can purchase other weapons that deal a variety of damage, travel in different patterns, and have different ranges.
20 stream streak
Each
cream.
weapon also has an EX attack,
Alex, 23
a
streak.
special which deals more damage. Using an EX attack costs a card, earned by damaging enemies or parrying pink projectiles. You purchase weapons with coins, which are mainly collected in run-and-gun stages. These are side-scrolling levels that appear in addition to the traditional boss fights. You don't need to play run-and-gun stages.
Guys, hot take. Yeah, okay, so Summoning Salt just said you don't need to play run-and-gun stages. Hot take, I hate the run-and-gun stages. And I mean hate. With a passion.
But they can be very valuable to unlock.
Salty King with a 20
weapons.
stream streak.
So, speedrunners have a tough
You only
decision
did 2? Why do you think I only did 2?
to make. Is it worth it to waste time playing running guns so that you can purchase different weapons? Well, Luigi opted to start his run by playing 2 of them, Forest Follies and Treetop Trouble. He used those coins to purchase the weapons Spread and Charge. Spread offers the highest damage per second in the game, but with a very short range. Charge has one big benefit. Many fights have periods in them where the boss can't be damaged, so with Charge you can use that time to charge up a shot. Then the instant the boss is vulnerable again, you'll be able to deal more damage than with any other weapon. Now, as for the boss fights themselves, the very first one...
I also would like to add something. I just got a question that says, or a statement that said, you only played 2 run and guns. You want to know why I did? Because I understand the speedrun strats before I even learn about them. This guy that we're watching right now only did 2 run and gun stages, which is why I only did 2, because I knew that I would need to buy everything that I needed with only 2 of them. And by the way, instinctually, you can't teach that. You can't teach that. I instinctually knew that.
The root pack is a great example for the
Oh my
rest
god,
of the
this is an
game.
hour and 16 minutes.
Each boss fight is broken up into different phases. Once you damage the boss enough, it triggers a cue to move into the next phase. In the root pack, phase 1 involves fighting a potato while he shoots projectiles at you. Luigi runs right up next to him and pelts him with Spread. Nice and easy. He's defeated after a few seconds. Phase 2 is the Onion. Luigi begins by shooting EX attacks just as he spawns in, then continues pelting him with Spread until he's defeated. Finally, Phase 3 is the Carrot. He jumps up and shoots charge EXs, while strategically taking damage on certain projectiles so he doesn't have to reposition himself. This is the easiest fight in the whole game, but it gives you an idea of how runners switch weapons and use EX attacks.
Okay.
Absolutely everything is planned out ahead of time, and runners know exactly what they're going to try to do. Luigi continued this playstyle all throughout the different boss fights. Since this was his first run of the category...
Guys, okay, now, I'm serious when I say this. I'm not trying to excite any of you guys, okay? I'm not. Seriously. But when I see Beppy the Clown... Wait, hang on, wrong. Wait, wrong sound effect, hang on. Guys, when I see Beppy the Clown...
He sometimes pulled back and didn't go for the quickest kills, opting instead to try and stay alive. He tended to overuse charge by staying back, rather than getting close with Spread. After
Yo, Void and Violet, thanks for the follow! Void and Violet, thanks for the follow!
finishing all 3 aisles, there are 2 more fights in the game. King Dice and the Devil. We'll talk about the-
Guys, every time I do something like that, I just imagine someone just sitting behind their computer like this. Like just like this. Ready? Ready? I'm watching Blood, but I don't know if he has the pizzazz. I don't know if he quite meets my criteria for a Twitch streamer. And then I say, guys, I'm chimptually attracted to Beppy the Clown. And they go, chimptually attracted to Beppy the Clown, you say? Well, that's good enough for me. That's all I needed to hear. Click on the follow button.
The devil later, but for now, I want to show you how Luigi handled the very unique King Dice. In this fight, you're dropped onto a game board and have to roll either a 1, 2, or 3. The space you land on determines the mini-boss you fight, and there's also free spaces you can land on without fighting anybody. Because of the spacing on the board, you're forced to fight at least 3 mini-bosses.
I didn't realize I was watching a man of culture.
King Dice himself. So, which 3 did Luigi want to fight? Well, he went.
Wait, let me guess. Hang on.
4-8 route, which speedrun.
Okay, all right, whatever. I was gonna guess. Honestly, I can't remember which ones I chose. Never mind.
Runners had done since the game's launch. This was a very.
Wait. That's insinuating that maybe it's different. Guys, I guarantee he chose, or the speedrunner chose Cigar Guy, followed by Magic Bunny in a hat, followed by. What was the last one I did? Whatever order I went last time. I think 7. I think 7 was the last one. Maybe I did 6 and 7, I think. I think it was 6 and then 7, maybe.
Safe, but still very fast route that fought Chips Bedigan, Pippin Dot, and Mangosteen. Luigi dodged attacks and landed either charge or spread shots. Then by the time he fought King Dice, he'd built up 5 cards so he could unload EX attacks and end the fight fast. Just a couple minutes later, Luigi finished up the run, a final time of 36:57. This was the first somewhat optimized record of 1.1, but this was still a brand new category in a popular speed game. And over the next few weeks, things were going to get hectic.
Here's what I will say. Summoning Salt's script writing is, and believe me, I'm saying this knowing how popular he is and knowing how many views each of his videos get. Summoning Salt's script writing is so underrated. An emphasis on underrated. I swear to God. Because he sets everything up chronologically. Some people don't do that. It's hard.
It started on December 11th, when a runner named Soulreth broke the record twice in one day. Soulreth was a pretty big Twitch streamer and was notable for being the first person to ever beat the game without taking any damage. Now playing on the patched version, he first got a 39-second improvement, then took another 10 seconds off. Luigi was right there in chat cheering him on.
Yo! Thanks, Multi-Luigi. Dude, you're really cool. Thanks for stopping in the chat and just like supporting this. You're awesome, man.
Soulreth's time save mainly came from being more aggressive, not backing away quite as much as Luigi. Over the next few days, Luigi came back and beat the world record twice. First a 34-8.
Guys, that's why I personally stop into Player 5's stream all the time. The #1 Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom speedrunner, because I'm like, hey, you know, good luck, man. And then like I'll like type my message and hit enter and then go like, oh man, like he's gonna totally freak out when he sees my name.
Then a 33-50.
As the former 67th best Breath of the Wild speedrunner in the world.
The second of these runs was notable because he skipped both running guns at the start. This meant that he only had the coins to purchase Spread and nothing else. He essentially traded out the ability to use Charge for a 2-minute time save at the start of the run. It meant Luigi had to get right up close with the bosses, no more standing back with Charge. After this was a formerly lost world record. The Twitch VOD was deleted and it wasn't included on speedrun.com, but it was rediscovered during the making of this video. It was a 33:39 set by TMR. TMR is a speedrunning legend. He was a former world record holder in big classic NES games like Contra and Battletoads. But when Cuphead was—
Blood sounds like my kind of streamer, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. Blood sounds exactly like my kind of streamer. Just the guys. I'm gonna start doing real-time scream cutoffs where I just go like, Stanley awoke and started screaming, and I just go, ah! Real-time screaming cutoffs.
Released in 2017, he came back with a second act.
Hang on.
He was—
Guys.
One of the
Does that sound good from your perspective?
Repeatedly setting the world record. And after 1.1 came out, he decided to give it a try. Probably the biggest change TMR made was going 3-4-8 on King Dice rather than 2-4-8. Space 2 was Chip's bet again, and it's easy on
Guys,
King
I'm gonna
Dice.
say it. This guy kind of looks like Mr. Kale with his hair slicked back and a mustache. And my proof is, do you also see the guitar in the background? Does this not kind of look like Mr. Kale?
Rather than 2-4-8. Space 2 was Chip's bet again, and it's easy to miss shots here like Luigi did. Instead, Space 3 is Mr. Wheezy. He's just out of range to hit with spread at the start, so TMR had to land a steady stream of the pea shooter. But in the next phase, he's super close.
What did I tell you?
TMR pelted.
What did I tell you? Guys, instinctually, I knew that Cigar Guy was the easiest first phase boss. Easily. Mr. Kale's secret twin brother?
Him with spread. He even intentionally took damage to get iframes, allowing him to walk through and behind the boss's hitbox to safely fire more spread. Not even a day later, another record was set by a player named K-Prime.
Sure, and welcome to the chat.
TMR, K-Prime was a pre-patch record holder who decided to try running the game on 1.1. The bulk of his improvement over TMR came on one boss, Grim Matchstick.
I
This
hate
fight
this
has
dragon.
randomly generated clouds that you have to jump on while damaging the boss. To make things a little more consistent, K-Prime intentionally took damage at the end of phases 2 and 3. This allowed him to enter the dragon's hitbox and repeatedly EX attack to finish him off, saving 13
That's
seconds. The next record came on Christmas Eve 2017. It was Luigi striking once more, with a 32-55.
You know,
And
here's what
this
I will
one-
say. Guys, this might be a hot take. Here's what I will say. This boss is the most forgettable boss in all of Cuphead. And by the way, it's not even close.
Shows the true difference between Luigi and runners like TMR or K-Prime. For the latter group, their true passion and interest was with Legacy, where you could perform crazy glitches and obliterate certain fights. They just played on 1.1 to try it out before moving back to Legacy. But Luigi genuinely preferred 1.1 over
Wait,
Legacy.
who the hell is Briny Beard?
He liked not being able to cheese any of the fights, having to play them all straight up. This is why Luigi was able to reclaim the 1.1 record time and time again.
No, hang on, because I don't know some of these people by name. Hang on, Briny Beard? Cuphead, who are you talking about? No. I remember the boat. The boat? I remember the boat. I remember this guy. Because, okay, watch this. You guys are probably like, he doesn't remember the boat guy. Yeah? Well, okay, what about the shark swimming in the background and then it comes and jumps on the dock? What about the rolling things, the rolling cannonballs you have to dodge too?
True passion, not just a side project. In under a month since the patch came out, runners had taken the record down to 32 minutes. There was frantic activity, with nearly every high-level runner playing. But finally, with this 32:55 by Luigi, things settled down a bit. And entering the first couple months of 2018, the record stayed put.
Moscow, thanks for the follow. The Lone Wolf.
By February 2018, the world record was still 32:55 by Luigi. Most runners had lost interest in 1.1 and had gone back to playing the more popular category Legacy.
Guys, quick question for you. For anyone that was present in my Cuphead streams, can you guys guess which character was my favorite character to voice? It's a pretty close tie. It's not a tie. It's pretty close between two characters, but one of them trumps all of them.
But one runner hadn't made his grand appearance yet. He'd been lurking in the background, watching when the patch was released in December. He found it fascinating to watch players route the game without any glitches, and he wanted to join in. Only problem, he didn't have...
Yes! Holy hell! Alex! Holy hell! Guys, it's the little bird in the plane. The little bird in the plane with a gun, with a little laser gun. Sure, and thanks for the follow. Where the bird goes, my dad's the brain, or my dad's the brawn, and I'm the brains. Because every time he'd show up, I'd go, you think my dad was the hat pad? You think my dad was the hat pad, do you? God, I love doing that voice. And then my second favorite is Tumpa Tumpa Teedly Tum. Howdy doody!
a Discord account, or anything he could use to collaborate with other runners.
You think my dad was the head parent? Oh God, I just can't get enough. I just cannot get enough of that. Hey guys, you know what I just noticed? This Twitch almost fits right in here. This Twitch almost slides right in. It's like the FedEx logo, guys. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. Can I show you guys something that you're gonna be anga for the rest of your life about? Watch this. Do you notice how there's an arrow here in between the E and X? There's an arrow here. Do you see that? Right there. Good luck not seeing that for the rest of your life now.
He was too shy. After the 3255 in late December, the category seemed to be quiet, but in reality, he was playing offline.
George
without
slash
telling
SRS?
anybody. And eventually, he found himself good enough to be
sliding right
challenging
in. That reminds me of the Sinner's Road. Yeah, tell me about it. Tell me about it, Moscow. You and me both.
the world record. Now, he had to decide what to do. Should he reveal himself to the community, or stay in the background while others competed? Well, that came further into question on February 6th, 2018, because he set a new world record of 32.
Fearful, thanks for the follow.
He was only doing this for his own personal enjoyment, but since this was a world record, he knew what he had to do now. He made
If you think about it, guys, doing this, like just playing for the love of the game and not even trying to publicize yourself because you're the world record holder, is like one of the most base things you can do. It's like having an AI girlfriend is right here. So having an AI girlfriend, and then right below that is getting a world record and not telling anyone.
made accounts on speedrun.com, Twitch, and Discord, and SBD Wolf showed off to the community what he had done. Over the next few weeks, SBD Wolf and Luigi...
Guys, you know what's funny? You know what's funny, by the way? This is the first time that my girlfriend has ever been outside in the kitchen while I'm streaming, so she can 100% hear what I'm saying right now. And I just remembered that as I just dropped that AI girlfriend comment.
Guys, play it normal. Play it normal, guys. Act cool.
traded the world record back and forth. It was extremely impressive that this newcomer had shown up out of nowhere and was now able to challenge the category's best runner. Heck, he did more than just challenge Luigi. He was beating him time and time again. Luigi would set a new record, but within days, SBD Wolf always took it back. Eventually, he took the record
Guys,
down
that is my favorite part about these speedrun. No, honestly, my favorite part is discovering new tech. That's my favorite part. But up there with that is like when two people are going back and back, and like they're just fighting against each other, or there's like one guy that's dominating, and every time that like someone overtakes his or her record or whoever, they just take it right back. You know what I mean?
3152. How was SBD Wolf doing this? Well, as it turned out, he was actually using a technique across the whole...
Oh, God. Okay, hang on. 1 second.
That gave him an advantage. Something so subtle that neither SBD Wolf nor anybody else in the community even realized he was doing it. A trick that would later be known as Calava swaps.
Guys, clock in for Calava swaps learning.
If you do an EX attack on a ground level, your weapon stops firing from the time you press the button until the time the EX animation is complete.
Okay, Obelisk, hang on. I'll do that in a second, but I actually want to lock in for this.
Your weapon stops firing from the time you press the button until the time the EX animation is complete. But if you swap your weapon during this period, the game lets you continue shooting your weapon while the EX animation plays. The game resets this when the EX shot comes out, at the midway point of the EX animation. So to fire throughout the entirety of the EX animation, you need to Calava swap twice, once before the midpoint and once after the midpoint. All that just to keep firing during the second half of the animation. But it's worth it if you can do it. It helped to...
That's so cool, man. Guys, I love hearing about these, like, it's like finding stuff like that I think is so cool. It's like one of the most interesting parts about like these speedruns for me. All right, hang on 1 second. I got something, guys, that trust me, the payoff's going to be enormous. The payoff's going to be enormous. Watch. The payoff is going to genuinely be enormous. Okay, clock in here, guys. All right, guys, here we go. Clock in. Clock in here, guys.
Let me tell you something, fellas. You think my dad was the hat pad, did you? Well, let me tell you what's really the hat pad. Let me tell you what's really the hat pad, fellas. Is when you want to be the most base person in the entire world, right? You spend your whole life. Look at my head. Look at my head, by the way. Seriously, let me get up close. Look at my head. You see how big my head is? You see this? It's like 10 times the proportion that it's supposed to be. But here's what I will say. You think making my laser gun was the hand pad, but actually, it was finding a lover that I truly connected with. Now, here's the thing, fellas. Here's the thing. Is that when finding a proper lover, you don't want to look in person, in poison. No. You don't want to look in poison. You want to look online, because one of the most base things you can possibly do is find yourself a nice AI goyle friend. The best possible thing you can do in life is find an AI goyle friend. And a lot of my people, my pops, my dad tells me that I need to find someone that I can actually, bring him grandchildren with. But here's the thing, fellas. Here's the thing. I don't care about grandchildren. You hear me? Only my dad does. Because he's the brawn and I'm the brains. And with an AI goyle friend, you don't have to worry about that, fellas. So if you think about it, I'm actually what you youngsters call big brain. Anyway, fellas, catch you later. Hang on. There we go, okay. Oh, God, there we go, guys. Okay, clock
Make
in.
faster cycles on bosses. Brineybeard, for instance, thanks to Calova swaps, he was able to one-cycle the final phase, meaning he avoided the laser where you can't
Man, it's really slow out there, huh? Yes, Bazinga, how you doing today? Lucy, you got some explaining to do.
Saving about 15 seconds over Luigi, and nobody had any clue. The trick was formally found by a runner named Calova a couple months later, and that's when SPD Wolf realized what he'd been doing. He pressed EX and then switched weapons so that he could fire his original weapon for slightly longer, without realizing this was also allowing him to keep firing during the EX animation. So, without the knowledge of why SPD Wolf was going so much faster, Luigi played to try and get the record back. Around this time, he was joined by another runner, Calova, the namesake of Calova Swaps.
Guys, Ribby and Croaks, two of the most underrated bosses in all of Cuphead. Which one's which? Ribby and Croaks, guys.
Much like SPD Wolf, Calova had slowly gotten better in the background, inching closer and closer to the 1.1 world record. Both runners played extensively in March and April 2018, and on April 3rd, both Luigi and Calova ended up breaking the record. Neither world record was a particularly substantial improvement, but it made it so that the previous 3 records were each set by a different player. Then just a few days later,
really cool.
Luigi got a bigger record, 31:42. One of the biggest time saves in this run came on Rumor Honeybottoms. As usual, there's 3 phases here, and Luigi beautifully executed his game plan through them all. Phase 1 is the security.
That guy dies so quickly.
You get up close and hit him with spread.
Even to
It's
P-shooter.
important to kill him before he reaches the left
Because
side.
this guy, you can kill this guy before he even flies back. Like, he flies here and then starts flying back and you kill him then, even with just
Since
P-shooter.
once you kill him, he flies off screen in the direction he's traveling. Then in phase 2, Rumor herself comes out, and she has 3 attacks she can randomly start with. The B missile.
Oh,
the
that's
orb,
cool. So you can save time if you kill him and he's facing the direction of the screen he's closest to. He'll fly in that direction. You save time before the B comes out.
or the triangles. She went with the orbs, and Calva got some bad luck with the platforms in his run. The platforms usually have one randomly not spawn in per row, and it made it so that Calva had to retreat and not damage Rumor for several seconds. Luigi got better luck with the platforms and had a very clean fight, finishing off Rumor very quickly in phase 3 and saving about 8 seconds. Probably the best split in his entire run. Then a couple weeks later, it happened again. Both Luigi and Calva set world records on the same day. This time it was Calva first with a 31:36. Then a few hours later, Luigi
and that's why capitalism is the best system in place. Because when you have competition fighting for number one, greatness occurs.
an amazing run of 31-16. This was easily the cleanest run of the game so far. He'd implemented
Unless we're playing Silk Song, and then I hate capitalism.
Calva swaps by now, and was saving more time with them across the run. With Calva and Luigi pushing each other, the world record had plummeted fast.
Hey, Lardara,
But this
welcome.
31-16 by Luigi was a pretty impressive run. No major mistakes throughout all 19 bosses. There's a good chance that it would have stood for several weeks, even months, as it was now 20 seconds ahead of second
Yes, I'm gonna continue playing Cuphead.
place. But that's not what happened. Because on May 2nd, 2018, a major shift was made on the Cuphead leaderboard. Up until now, there were two main categories, all bosses and all bosses glitchless. In all bosses, you play
Guys,
on the
Gambage.
old version and do whatever tricks you want. In all bosses glitchless,
Here comes another category.
you play on the 1.1 patch and all glitches are banned. This initially worked out pretty well because the developers seemed to have done a great job patching out all glitches from 1.1. But now, 6 months after the patch, players had really torn apart version 1.1, and they discovered that maybe this wasn't such a glitch-free patch after all. So, they decided to redo the categories. Instead of all bosses and all bosses glitchless, everything was now just all bosses, and there was a subcategory denoting if you were playing on the old version or 1.1. Glitches were now allowed on both versions of the game, and as of May 2018, there were now a few new tricks that players were able to implement in their 1.1 speedruns. First, a simple one, shop glitch. Normally, to buy items in the shop, you press confirm to buy them and then press back to exit the shop. However, if you press confirm and back on the same frame, you can exit the shop while the purchase animation plays. In addition, you can even buy a second item while the screen fades out back to the map.
Wow, bro,
It
that's
saves
so cool. That's so cool. I wonder how hard it is, though. I wonder how hard it is to hit buy and back on the same frame. That's so cool, though. This is why it's better when a game, like, it's better to have hundreds of thousands of people playing your game because it's bound, like, one person is bound to find some weird stuff like this. And this weird stuff is so interesting to me.
A few seconds, was found shortly after the game's release, and now it was available for 1.1 speedruns. Another trick was on the second boss of the run, Ribby and Croaks. First, we need to understand a concept called overdamage. We already know that boss fights are broken up into different phases, but importantly,
Guys, is it just me, or are Ribby and Croaks kinda...
even though each phase is triggered by an amount of damage, the fight usually won't transition to that phase until the boss is done with whatever move or attack they're doing. And the damage you do during that time counts as damage in the next phase. You can make certain phases much shorter, or in some cases, even skip phases altogether. This is known as overdamaging the boss. Enter the Ribby and Croaks Super Skip, a trick involving overdamage that lets you skip phase 2 of the fight. It was long known to be possible on the pre-patch version, but lack of weapon swap glitch on 1.1 seemed to make it impossible. But in March 2018, a player named Jumper N found a way to do it. You get the frog's health on the cusp of transitioning past phase 1, then the instant they begin an attack that they must finish before transitioning, you unload a barrage of spread fire and EXs into a precise spot where their hitboxes overlap. You also damage boost inside of their hitbox for better damage. If all
Say that one more time.
lap, you also damage boost inside of their hitbox
You also damage boost inside of them? Alright, okay, I'm done. I'm done.
for better damage. If all is done properly, you do enough damage to end phase 2 before it begins. Instead of separating for phase 2, they roll into each other and turn straight into the slot machine for phase 3. It saves time by skipping a transition animation, about 8 seconds. The fact that 1.1 runners were now allowed to do all this and more was very exciting, and it was enough to bring SBD Wolf back to running the category. He knew that Ribby and Croaks was going to be a huge reset point. It was just the second fight in
Salty
the
King,
run,
thankfully,
but
she has
getting the
no
super
idea what
skip
I'm saying.
required both good RNG and difficult execution. He decided that whenever he missed it, he'd just reset the run. He felt the 8 seconds were that important. It was tough having to reset early so often, but it eventually paid off. On May 6th, SBD Wolf got the first sub 31 in Cuphead 1.1's history. SBD Wolf didn't intend to improve the run any further, since Ribby and Croak's super skip made the category frustrating to play. But a couple months later,
Ribby and Croak's
super While
skip.
practicing for a tournament, SBD Wolf set a new world record of 3050. This was the first world record to use new tech found by Luigi, called Luigi Swaps.
Honestly, second most forgettable boss, Medusa.
Similar to Calava Swaps, they let you keep shooting during an EX on the flying levels, but unlike Calava Swaps, you must press EX and fire on the same frame. A month later, Calava took the record back with a 3047, followed a short while later by SBD Wolf reclaiming it with a 3045. And it was around this time that SBD Wolf began looking into implementing a new trick. Remember, allowing glitches in 1.1 was still a new thing, and runners were still trying to figure out which glitches from Legacy could be adapted to 1.1. And everyone knew there was a white whale. One glitch from Legacy that would be more valuable than any other. If they could find a way to make this one work without weapon swap glitch, it would be the biggest time save in the run.
You thought my dad.
And everyone knew there was a white
You thought
whale.
my dad was the head pad, did you? Well, who do you think was behind the scenes cooking up genius weapons like this? It's not very often. Let me tell you this, it's not very often that, you have the brain power to put a rubber band and a nail on a little bird's head. Now, my dad may be the brawn, but I'm the brains. My dad is not the had pad. I'll tell you that right now. Son of it! There.
Glitch from Legacy that would be is Beppy glitch.
What? Guys, clock the mother chimp in for Beppy glitch.
Midway through the second aisle is a boss called Beppy the Clown. Just like Ribby and Croaks, it's possible to overdamage him and skip transition animations. In Phase 1, Beppy moves back and forth and then slides across to the other side of the screen and hits the wall, repeating this pattern over and over. Once you've damaged him enough, then the next time he slides across the screen, instead of turning around, he'll fall off the bottom. That's the trigger to begin Phase 2, and it's the perfect spot to overdamage him. Beppy doesn't transition to Phase 2 until after he slides across and falls off the screen.
Okay.
So you want to deal almost enough damage to trigger Phase 2, then the instant he slides and hits the wall, start shooting him and deal enough damage to pass the next phase trigger before he slides and falls off the screen. If done properly, Phase 2 never ends, and the game gets confused. Beppy's Phase 2 death sprite loads in, but the fight is actually in Phase 3 and his hitbox is active the entire time.
Oh.
He stays in this glitch state.
Bro, that's so crazy. That's so insane. Guys, I swear to God, it's like, okay, I know like if enough people play the game, like things are bound to get discovered, but just finding stuff like this is so insanely interesting.
Rest of the fight, so you end up skipping both the Phase 3 and Phase 4 transition animations. Now on the Legacy version, Beppy glitch was very doable. Thanks to weapon swap glitch, you could deal enough damage before the transition to Phase 2. But when 1.1 came out, that seemed to mark the end of Beppy glitch. Until SBD Wolf managed to hit it with a spread and pea shooter combo in June 2018. As soon as Beppy hit the wall on the right side of the screen, SBD Wolf unloaded everything he had into him, taking him out as he slid back to the left. Wolf unloaded everything he had into him. The wall on the right side of the screen, SBD Wolf unloaded everything he had into him.
I remember doing something similar on Sinner's Road.
Taking him out as he slid back to the left. It was also random. Beppy needed to avoid sliding for as long as possible to deal enough damage. But as hard as this all was, Beppy glitch was officially possible on 1.1. and it was a 20-second time save if SPD Wolf could get it in a run. He knew how huge this would be. With the current record at 30:45, a 20-second time save would leave runners just 25 seconds away from an enormous milestone, the sub 30. However, actually pulling this off in a run was going to be a big ask. On August 27th, SPD Wolf had a run that was a bit behind.
Pyro, thanks for the follow.
But with a 20-second time save potential on Beppy, he knew this was recoverable.
Guys, you already know, by the way, every time Summoning Salt goes, and getting a sub 30 would be a near impossible task. And then if we were to skip ahead to like this section of the video, it'd be like, the runs are at like 19 minutes or something. You know what I mean? And also, the second thing I will say is I'm kind of deviating off topic here, but I swear, I've said this once and I'll say it again, guys. I swear to God, I'm rooting for Nifsky to tie the tasks for Super Mario Bros. Like the original NES version. I'm rooting for that so hard because, guys, just give me one for the humans, please. I'm sick of these, dare I say, calankers beating us in chess, beating us in writing essays. I'm sick of these calankers, guys. And by the way, good luck me running for president in 2050 after robots take over and they can cancel me. But seriously, go Nifsky, tie that MFing task record.
No luck. Beppy slid too soon, so there was no time to deal enough damage. That being said, he followed this up with the fastest Grim matchstick he'd ever played in a run, and he closed it out as a small world record. Yet, he barely even cared.
Nice.
He cared so little, in fact, that he kept his stream going, and a couple hours later, he had another run. This was a significantly better pace into Beppy, a huge opportunity.
So anyways, guys, I put on my adult diapers, and you're not gonna believe what happened next.
Opportunity to try and get the glitch. Once again, SPD Wolf set up Beppy's damage, unloaded at him at the right moment, and then...
Nope, that's not the pattern. Never mind.
Unlucky again. Not only did he not gain time, but he lost 7 seconds. Yet, it was a repeat of the last run. He had an excellent Grim matchstick, golded Rumor Honeybottoms, and took a lead late into the game.
Alright. Sub 30-30, very nice.
This was a pretty big one. The first ever sub 30-30. And more importantly, if he could hit Beppy Glitch, that alone was a 30-second time save over the split in this record. No other top-level players were actively playing. This was his milestone.
That's crazy. Wait, so I guess I missed it. Did you guys catch it? How much time save does Beppy Glitch give? 30 seconds? Is that what Summoning Salt just said?
The next
That's insane.
day, it was a familiar situation. SPD Wolf kept it close through aisle 1 with a chance to pull way ahead on Beppy, if he could get the glitch.
He's got it. He got it.
Got an off thing.
Watch this.
This time, he got a good pattern, but messed it up by getting something runners call a nothing. When doing a Calva swap, if you weapon swap on the exact frame the EX attack is supposed to come out, the EX attack gets cancelled and never comes out. So, it was the same story again. No Beppy glitch,
that sucks.
but he played well in the late game and pulled off yet another world record. So he was lowering the record, but this particular run felt about as good as it was going to get without Beppy glitch.
And surely, guys, surely for the rest of this 45 minutes that we have left in this video, surely nothing new will be discovered, and this is truly peak optimization.
He really needed it for sub 30, but it was just never happening. Maybe he needed a different approach. Part of the problem was Beppy needed to stay still for long enough to deal the damage. But it turns out, Beppy's delays here aren't fully random. They're only partially random. He has 10 possible delays, and they always occur in order, but the starting point in this sequence is random. This is how most RNG works in the game. You can technically predict what a boss is going to do next if you're able to identify where you are in the RNG sequence. So,
guys, this I have to say, this guy was also up there for one of my favorite characters to voice. Every time he'd come out, I just go,
Every child internationally will have a cavity. I don't discriminate, by the way. I don't discriminate.
if you're able to identify where you are in the RNG sequence. So, SBD Wolf realized he could apply the concept to Beppy Glitch.
Good luck stopping my foolproof plan.
And that would be his head exploding.
If he could identify where Beppy was in his pattern after the first 2 delays, he could identify if the 3rd delay would be long enough to do Beppy Glitch. If it wasn't, he could wait 1 or 2 more cycles to do Beppy Glitch, losing a bit of time but still saving time overall. This clever idea gave him a much bigger chance of hitting Beppy Glitch in a run. And the very next day after discovering it, SBD Wolf did this.
And you're not gonna believe what SBD Wolf did.
There you go.
Holy, wait. What is that? What is that time save? Hang on. What was that time save?
There you go.
Minus 25.65? Holy bean. So anyway, guys, I put on my adult diaper and unloaded everything I had into Beppy. Yo,
Very
sub
nice.
30!
Sub 30 has been achieved.
This was such a satisfying run for SBD Wolf. He hit Beppy Glitch by recognizing his pattern. His hard work had paid off, and he was able to use it to get the first sub 30 in Cuphead history. Congratulations flooded in from the community. It was by far the biggest milestone in 1.1's history, and SBD Wolf was now in first place.
Guys, does this make anybody else sad? Like, every time I see those screenshots from, like, basically, speedruns from, like, speedrun discords, like, before Summoning Salt, I think, was, like, popping up on YouTube, were, like, so dead and dry. Like, especially that Blew Yourself. We've watched that Blew Yourself speedrun video, right? But there's like 3 people that are like, hey, congrats, man, ha 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 ha, you know? But and then Summoning Salt gets like 2.7 million views on a video, and then it's like everyone cares about it. But like at the time, it's like there's like 2 or 3 people that are like, hey, that's great. I'm really glad to hear it.
By a full minute. Given all the activity, it's easy to forget, but at this point Cuphead wasn't even a year old. And yet, version 1.1 had already seen 27 world records. Hardly a month ever passed without a new record,
It started at
as
50
runner
minutes.
after runner came along and got good. But now that the sub 30 was achieved, things finally slowed down. Compared to the previous 9 months, the fall of 2018 was a very quiet period for Cuphead speedruns.
Huh, things slowed down and 2018 became a very quiet period. Surely for the next 45 minutes, that will remain true, and Summoning Salt will just talk about how slow things were.
Through all of September, October, and November, no new world records were set. SBD Wolf's stranglehold on the leaderboard was too strong, and it stayed that way until something big happened in late 2018. To understand the next chapter in Cuphead's history, we have to look at the 7th place runner, a player named Grondius. Careful viewers may have seen his name
7th place runner, why not the 6th? Why the 7th when you can chose the 6th?
earlier in this video. Grond got into Cuphead speedruns in the spring of 2018. Just another person who played the game shortly after its release, loved it, and decided to pursue speedrunning it. By that
Hang on, guys. 1 second. The only messages Namako has said so far today.
last summer, he moved into the top 10. He was a good player, but not really a threat to the world record. But even if his skills weren't there, Grond was a very creative runner, always looking for new ways to go faster. And in November 2018, while stuck inside due to a snowstorm, Grond started messing with a radical new idea.
That's
he wanted to
vibes.
throw out the current run and reroute the entire game with a new weapon combination, Lobber and Spread. This was an interesting duo. We already know that Spread does a ton of damage, but with a very short range. Lobber also deals great damage, and was particularly intriguing because of its EX attack, which has an unintended mechanic: double damage Lobber EXs. A Lobber EX normally does 28 damage. However, if it hits the ground, the game accidentally creates splash damage twice. So if a boss is within range, it'll deal 56 damage to the boss.
What the hell? What is beneath this black box? Why is there a black box here? What's beneath that? I mean, what are we watching? Petscop? Are we watching Petscop from 2017?
It's also possible to hit a precise spot on some bosses where the Lobber EX explodes and the boss is hit by both double splash damage and direct impact, dealing a total of 3 times normal damage. However, even if you do it correctly, this only works half the time. But this double damage mechanic, combined with spread, could be extremely powerful. The problem is that in order to purchase Lobber, you need more coins, and that means having to play a run and gun at the start, Forest Follies, which takes an extra 50 seconds. So if Grond could manage to save at least 50 seconds with Lobber, then it would be worth it. Grond got to work. He found that doing Calva swaps with a Lobber...
Guys, here's what I will say, by the way. There's something about like a snowstorm going on outside, or like a heavy rainstorm or something, and then like there's something about that I swear to God just makes playing video games or just like staying indoors way more comfy.
Lobber EX and spread up close was a powerful combo. He had to figure out new routes for several fights all on his own, and the more he played, the more he was able to reap benefits from the Lobber. Grond told SBD Wolf what he was doing in November 2018. He was losing 50 seconds at the start of the run, but making up a chunk of that time across the remainder. Not worth it yet, but if he kept looking, he thought he could close the rest of the gap. And he kept finding new stuff. For Beppy Glitch, with the old weapon combo, you'd sometimes have to wait 4 or 5 cycles to get the right pattern, but with Lobber and Spread, you could always get the glitch in 3 cycles. He also refined Baroness von Bonbon. This fight features 3 mini-bosses selected out of a pool of 5. There's 60 possible combinations. Grond relearned every option with Lobber and Spread, figuring out the optimal way to play every single scenario. So, he had the new weapons. He had the new strategies. It was still slower than the old route, but the gap was shrinking. He'd already made up 27 of the 50 seconds. Grond wasn't sure if he could take it the rest of the way, but he wanted to try. And over the next couple months, it started to get close.
Yes, there it is. Yes, okay.
Guys, I want so badly to just become #1 in any given speedrunning category, and somewhere throughout that process, like locking in like 2 months before I break the record, but I make it a point on the stream to throw on my adult diapers. So just so that I can hear Summoning Salt say in his video that he makes about the game and inevitably me. And then Trevor, wait, hang on, I still have this, guys. Hang on, watch this, ready? And then Trevor Treefort did something unthinkable. He threw on his adult diapers, and you're not gonna believe what happened next. Crap! Crap! I missed the thing! Trevor Treefort knew that he had a lot of time to save, so he did what any man would do. He threw on his adult diapers, and you're not gonna believe what happened next. Okay. Okay. All right, I'm done.
We did it, dude. We freaking golden it, dude. Sub 30, man.
So guys, it looks like this new strategy has potential, huh?
Yes, dude. 29-23, dude.
This was the culmination of an enormous effort in research and execution.
That's actually an insane time
Grond
save.
had set a massive world record. Indisputable proof that the Lobber and Spread route was the way to go, despite having to spend nearly a minute at the start collecting coins. Grond was pretty adamant that he was done. He'd had an incredible story arc in this game, practically inventing a new route and now getting a world record with it. At this point, there wasn't much motivation to continue.
You know,
but
there's something to be said about setting a speed run, like just by following the strats that have been laid out before you. You know what I mean? But can you imagine the wave of euphoria and how good this guy must have felt to think of a new strategy, implement it, and then beat the world record with it? That's just like another level of craziness. That's insane.
The SBD Wolf could egg him on. In December, SBD Wolf started messing with the Lobber and Spread route, and just like Grond, he found it to be the faster option. He set a new personal best of 29:45, then continued with attempts to get the world record back. SBD Wolf and Grond helped each other, and as they did, more runners began adopting the Lobber and Spread route. But it was SBD Wolf who closed in, and just after the new year, he came through with a new world record of 29:21.
That is one record. Done.
In this run, SBD Wolf saved big time on Hildeberg. This is a flying level in Isle 1. Hilda sways back and forth through the fight, and the idea is to use EX attacks when she's moving right so that she travels with it and takes more damage. When she charges forward, runners intentionally take...
Let me tell you why Hildeberg is not even anywhere close to like the top 5 most forgettable Cuphead bosses. Because, and guys, I dare you to try to prove me wrong, because in between one of the phase transitions, or I should say during one of the phase transitions for Hildeberg, she goes, or she makes those noises or whatever, literally unforgettable. Literally, I want that edged into my tombstone. I want that exact quote edged into my tombstone.
Damage so they can fire an EX attack that hits her over and over. In Grond's run, he accidentally took damage on a parryable, which meant he couldn't intentionally take damage later and it threw the rest of the fight off. SBD Wolf capitalized on the time save. After this run, SBD Wolf looked to play other categories, and he also started focusing on Castlevania speedrunning, where he'd eventually claim the world record. So he moved on from playing any percent 1.1 speedruns.
You think my date's the
Grond,
hand?
on the other hand, was nowhere near done. The torch had been passed. SBD Wolf was way ahead, but now Grond had fully caught up. And just days after the 29:21, Grond took the record back with a 29:10.
We did it! Alright, world record reclaimed.
The most notable split in this run was Baroness. He got Cupcake, Waffle, Candy Corn, one of the fastest patterns, much faster than SBD Wolf split, which got Jawbreaker, Cupcake, and Gumball.
Guys, Jawbreaker, by the way, Jawbreaker sounds like this, ready?
Split,
25 cents for the lick, 50 cents for the whole taste.
which got Jawbreaker, Cupcake, and Gumball. In general, Waffle is super fast, so you want that to be one.
Can you
of the
guys,
three.
how many guys? Can you just send some clips to your? You guys have game dev connections, right? Can you please send some clips so I can, please God, voice act? Please God, that's like, well, I'd say it's like my number 2 dream job.
Suddenly, just 11 seconds from the next minute barrier, Grond pushed onward. He grinded off and on all through the month of January, while also searching for faster ways to defeat bosses. One thing he discovered was tech called flick lobbers. Instead of holding down the fire button to repeatedly shoot lobbers, you manually tap it so that you can face away from the enemy between shots. It's useful on fights like Werner Werman, where you need to repeatedly move away from the boss but still want to damage him. Now officially going for sub 29, on February 8th, Grond got one so close. It clocked in at 29 minutes flat. Just one more second until the next minute barrier.
Here's what I will say, guys, and I'm not gonna lie, this is probably gonna piss a lot of you guys off. Okay, seriously, be prepared to be angry. This is probably gonna piss a lot of you guys off. I tend to overestimate my abilities. Okay, for example, I think, and I've said this before, I said this once before, I'll say it again. I think the easiest thing to do in any professional sport for an average person would be to make a free kick in a soccer game, or as some of you might say, football. Okay? I think if you picked me out of the crowd during the World Cup and had me walk up and try to score and gave me 10 chances to score one free kick against a professional goalie, I could make at least 1 out of 10. All right? Now, that being said, these mechanics
You need to
right here
repeatedly move
don't
away
necessarily
from the
look
boss,
super
but
difficult.
Still want to damage him.
All right? They don't. All right? There, I said it. They don't. I feel like I could do it, guys. I feel like I could do it.
Barrier. Then a couple weeks later, he had an up and down run. He got a good Baroness pattern, but lost time on Beppy Glitch. He got good RNG on Rumor Honey Bottoms, but lost time down the stretch in Isle 3.
Then do it? No, I can't. You know, I mean, I don't really want to, you know?
Run is so common in Cuphead. It's hard to get everything to line up. But then, he golded King Dice, saving another 4 seconds. Grand was freaking out.
Oh my god, dude, this might actually be it.
Just one fight left to go, the Devil. We haven't talked about him yet, but he is one last enormous roadblock, right at the very end of the run. For starters, he's extremely random, more than just about any other boss. In Phase 1, there's several attacks he can throw, including the clap and the parryable attack with
This guy did
bubbles.
take a long time to
But
learn,
through
yeah.
all this, there's one massive piece of
For me.
RNG. At some point during the phase,
Bye, Googie.
it's very likely you'll either get the spider attack or the serpent attack. Both attacks have subsets of RNG within them, but in general, you really want to get the serpent, not the spider. The serpent either comes out from the left or right side with fairly straightforward RNG. The spider is unpredictable. It bounces a random number of times, randomly lands in different spots, and more. It's so hard.
I don't think
to
it was
make a
random.
game
I'm pretty
plan.
sure it traces
In
your
general,
hitbox, right?
The spider is at least a 6 to 7.
No, wait, guys,
second
seriously, that's an actual Gen Q now. No trolling aside. I don't think that's random, right? I'm pretty sure the spider just traces your hitbox.
time loss over the serpent. It's 50-50 which one you'll get. So at the very end of the run, there's basically a coin flip as to whether or not you make it. And that's just phase
It doesn't
one.
track. I mean, guys, then that's there's just a ton of coincidences. Then there's too many coincidences where it seems like it is. That's crazy. Like I almost don't believe that.
Then jump.
Like I feel like in like you know what I mean. Like in like a year, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, I guess the code does kind of track your position a little bit.
Down a hole, and there's a brief cutscene animation where Cuphead stares in awe before Phase 2 begins.
It's RNG. Huh.
If you pause and unpause, then use an EX, you can shoot and move during this animation. The Geo button. So on this pace with sub 29 on the line, Grand had a lot to think about. The Devil opened with some normal attacks, and then the moment of truth. Was this spider or serpent?
Oh my gosh. It's happening, guys. It's happening. Dude, I did it!
Sub 29. Holy bean! You
This
can't
was
see
another
this.
satisfying.
It's below
run
my
for
webcam.
Grand. He got the goal he was looking for. Broke
You guys
another
couldn't see it. I think it was
minute barrier,
28:50
and now that
28:50
SPD
something.
Wolf wasn't playing anymore.
It's crazy.
The next closest runner was a minute behind. With
20:53.
the sub 29 achieved, Grand moved to play other games, and the community died down once again. These types of periods are normal in speed games. Sometimes there's a rush of activity and it seems like everyone is playing. Other times, everyone's on a break at the same time, and there's no real competition for the record. The latter was definitely true in the spring of 2019. Grand's 28:53 was
Nobody can stop tooth decay.
an amazing run, and now that glitches had been allowed for several months, it was less exciting and new. But in mid-April 2019, this period of inactivity came to an abrupt end. Because that's when the developers released yet another patch for Cuphead, version 1.2. Speedrunners were looking forward.
Guys, I was gonna say Peepo Riot for the game devs changing the game, but do you want to know one thing that's kind of making me a little anga /HJ? Is that Peepo Riot? All these big emotes with this new coding that I have are so tiny. So Peepo Torch is almost bigger than Peepo Riot, or almost more noticeable, I should say.
To this update, but we're soon disappointed. Version 1.2 removed a lot of glitches. They patched out double damage Lobber EXs, got rid of the ability to clip through objects, and
That's
changed
sad.
various hitboxes. 16 months ago, when the game went from 1.0 to 1.1, it worked out well from a speedrunning perspective. Major glitches were patched, so runners were forced to come up with new tech. But 1.1 to 1.2 took it a bit too far. That cool tech was now removed, and it made fights last longer. It was a fine update for casual players, but speedrunners didn't know what to do. There was a big debate over how to deal with version 1.2. The end result was it became its own category.
Guys,
No major
justice for
glitches,
the onion.
Where in addition to the patched out tricks, stuff like Beppy glitch and Luigi swaps were also banned. So now, 1.0, 1.1, and 1.2 each had their own categories. And of the three, the one that developed the most momentum was 1.1, because in mid-2019, Jason 2890 came back to the category. Jason was a Cuphead legend. He'd held the 1.0 record in 2018 and recently set the 1.2 record as well. The only record he hadn't held was 1.1, where he currently sat in 3rd place behind Grand and SBD Wolf.
God, guys, you know, it's seeing all these comments is really making me. You know what I should do? I need to watch one more Summoning Salt video on stream and just have a giant bowl of cereal, and just and just like react like a clueless person. Where I'm just like, oh, there's no way new glitches are going to be found now. Like there's, these people are so stupid. Like clearly the speedrun's already optimized. And just do it for the entire
In fact,
video.
Careful viewers might have noticed him earlier in this video. Cuphead runners are some of the most collaborative I've ever seen. Jason and Grand talked all the time and compared their fastest segments. And as a result, in late June, Jason took his PB straight from a 29.54 to a 29 flat.
Wow. Oh my goodness. I actually almost got the sub 29.
He was actually on world record pace late, but he took a slower route on King Dice and made some mistakes. So Jason had to keep going. He played all through that summer, and in August, he took the 1.1 record for the first time ever with a 28.49. At this point, Grand and Jason were talking with each other constantly, sharing new strats and pointing out optimizations that they had found. Their focus was less on who held the record and more on discovering as much as they possibly could to save time. They found small improvements on Cagney Carnation, Hilda Berg, Calamaria, and more. These two were on another level when it came to Cuphead, and as a result of their collaboration, they decimated the world record throughout 2019.
Honestly, man, when you see my honey bottoms, you might have raised blood pressure too. What universe are we living in right now? VOD Frogs, if that doesn't prove that I have 100% attention devoted to this video right now, I don't know what does.
Yes! 28.44.
Yes! Finally.
Wait, hang on. Look at the line below that one. Wait, what was the... If I got gun fast, gun, I probably would have had a heart attack and died IRL before I even died in-game. Oh, wait. I was in full choke mode at one point and have no idea how I didn't die. Wait, what the hell? Wait, what's going on here? Guys, what the hell is going on in these conversations? What is this?
They decimated the world record throughout 2019.
Guys, I mean, what is this? My leaked DMs between the muck roaches on Sinner's Road? I mean, what the hell?
Finally.
Hey, we did! 28, we still got it, dude! Hey, we did! Oh my god.
They just kept going. Every few weeks, one of them got a new improvement. There were a few new minor techniques, but most of this was just Jason and Grand pushing each other. Generally, these were very small improvements to the record, but this was nothing compared to the run that Jason got on November 13th, 2019. The run really started on Hildeberg, where he got an excellent 103. He then got a solid pattern with a waffle on Baroness, nailed Beppy Glitch, and got good luck with the clouds on Grim Matchstick. Jason had an unreal 17
You're telling me Jason nailed Beppy Glitch? Jason nailed Beppy Glitch?
second lead over his personal best. This was on pace for a 28-1x, an enormous world record. After a gold on Dr. Call, Jason faltered a bit, but still maintained a 15-second lead with just one fight to go, the Devil. It was all going to come down to the grand decision, Serpent or Spider.
Come on. Oh.
Despite
Rough.
getting Spider, Jason's lead was so massive that he still broke the record. It was just a 28-2x instead of a 28-1x. Grand and Jason
What do you
both
mean?
took note
Bro,
of this.
okay, honestly, L phrasing, because I hate, like, when a world record gets set and then the first thing the speedrunner says is like, oh man, it wasn't like this good though. It could have been even better. It's like, bro, you just set the world record. You know what I mean? Like, congratulations.
Pace. In their minds, 28-1x would be the ultimate goal of Cuphead. And as friendly as the rivalry was, they did both want to reach it first. Jason said in the description of his 28-29 that he might take a break, but it really didn't last long. Only slightly behind the record, going into the Devil, comparing against a run that got the Spider. If he got the Serpent right now, this could be 28-1x. Just terrible luck. Twice now, he was on 28-1x.
Oh, I only got a world record.
And he lost the 50-50 both times. A few weeks later in December, Jason finally got the Serpent, but it was after a very slow phase 1 where he took damage, missed shots, and bled a lot of time. A new world record, but not quite the 28-1x. Despite the lackluster end, Jason was very satisfied with this run. He was truly happy with how he played.
Guys, by the way, if you want a truly entertaining world record to watch, go watch Summoning Salt's Super Punch-Out video. Guys, write this down. Write this down, guys. Seriously, write this down. Summoning Salt's Super Punch-Out world record video, and then go watch Awosome Andy's world record on YouTube. I kid you not, the banter in that world record, it has like 10,000 views or something like that. I kid you not, the banter in that video is so good. And it's so surprising how calm and level-headed that speedrunner remains throughout the entire video. It's crazy.
Outside of a brief moment on the Devil. Even though he didn't have the arbitrary milestone of 28-1x, did it really matter? This was the exact type of run he was looking for. Jason decided to step back and leave it to Grand, who continued his grind for a few weeks. He used all the strategies that he and Jason had worked together to develop over the past several months. And on January 17th, 2020...
The second one is, it's just type in Super Punch-Out world record. It's Awosome Andy is the YouTuber, I think. So it's Awesome Andy, but like with a spin on the third letter.
It paid off with the greatest world record in Cuphead history. Grand saved big time on Wally Warbles and never looked back. He got great RNG all the way through with very few mistakes. And at the end on the Devil...
I'm calling it right now. Okay, look at this date in here. 1/17/2020. I'm calling it right now after, like, in the April... Like, during the COVID range. In the April 2020 to, like, the end of 2020. I'm calling it right now. Some insane stuff is going to be discovered.
Grand managed to hold it together despite realizing the luck he was getting.
What is this? Dude, what the frick was that? Devil, dude, we got that. Oh my god. 28-13. Oh my god, dude.
There it was, Cuphead's ultimate world record. Over the past year, Jason and Grand had pushed each other so much that they'd run away with the category. They were a full minute ahead of anybody else. These guys were able to get times on fights that nobody else could even come close to. And the end result was this record, a 28-13 that Grand officially set, but was ultimately deserved by both runners. What they did through the second half of 2019 was remarkable, but it wasn't to last, because after this 28-13, both runners were done. They'd had their fun and were ready to turn it over to somebody else. But was there anybody else waiting?
I guess it's done, guys.
Up until now, 1.1 speedruns had sort of been the secondary
Bro,
category,
I have to
while
stop
1.0
doing that.
runs were
I have to
considered
stop
the
doing
main
that.
speedrun
I
of
swear to God, I'm
Cuphead.
gonna tear something.
However, that gradually changed as more and more runners wanted to play 1.1. It was a perfect balance between having
I need to
lots
hit
of
the gym
tech
harder,
while not
guys.
being completely broken. Throughout 2021 and 2022, 1.1 exploded in popularity and eventually overtook 1.0 as the main category on speedrun.com. Now, lots of speedruns had popularity boosts during this time, as people suddenly had a lot more time on their hands. But Cuphead 1.1 is an extreme example. In just a couple years, it went from 87 runners to over 300. This could be due to popular games
I'm telling
like
you, bro,
quick runs,
COVID really-
tutorials that Grand made, or the fact
COVID
that the
really,
game just
set the
remained
precedent.
culturally relevant. The game also came out on other platforms that didn't allow downpatching, which made it harder to play 1.0. But whatever the cause, the end result was undeniable. By 2022, 1.1 was the premier category of Cuphead, which was now a very popular speed game.
Guys,
And
I'll
yet,
hit 73
despite
push-ups at
this,
the end of stream.
Grand's 2813 still remained on top more than 30 months after it was set. There were more than 200 new runners, but nobody could beat either Grand or Jason, still holding down the number 1 and number 2 spots in late 2022. It was a testament to what these guys accomplished back in 2019. Their run stood the test of time. This gap in the record timeline was pretty unexpected given the frequency of records in Cuphead's early days, but still, there were a lot of active contenders, improving their skills and residing not far behind on the leaderboard. If one of them could just get that small amount better, they could separate from the pack and make a run at the world record. For many months, nobody
Yeah,
could
I
do
probably
that.
should wait, actually.
On August
I probably
1st,
should wait.
2022,
Okay, I'm not joking you. As soon as I saw 73 push-ups in chat, I'm like, oh, God, now I have to do it. But I'm not joking, you guys. I'm skipping something tonight to let myself heal. Guys, next week, I swear. Next week, I swear. Bro, just give me one more week. That's all I ask.
Someone submitted a
I'm just so competitive.
2816 to the leaderboard with one simple line in the description. I'm coming for you, Grandius. This
Pretty sure I said the same thing to the muckroaches on Centers Road.
is Clipboard Guy. Clipboard Guy started running the game shortly after Grand's record was set in January 2020. He actually learned from the tutorials that Grand made. Like many in the community, he gradually improved over the next couple years. By May 2021, he had a sub 30, and by that October, he had a sub 29, a distant third behind Jason and Grand. But he was the best active
Clipboard
runner
Guy.
of the game. And
What
he
is
had
going
the
on
be-
with this black box down here? Guys, seriously. There's got to be some, like... I don't know, guys. There's got to be, like, something fishy's going on under this black box. I can't quite explain it, guys. I can't quite explain it, but something fishy going on down there in that black box. And I got a feeling we're not going to like it. I won't rest till I get to the bottom of this, guys.
Best chance of beating 2813. To help, he implemented a couple new strategies, both of which Jason found years earlier. The biggest was on Phantom Express, a risky strategy called the cart push, allowing him to
Exactly,
get up close
Mun
without
Papan.
wasting as much time and saving a couple seconds. These time saves on the margins were super important. When going after a record as good as the 2813, literally every second matters. And on October 28th, 2022, it happened. Clipboard Guy got good time saves on the flying levels Hildeberg and Cala Maria, and did this.
Holy. And a goal?
2810?
One off an OX.
After nearly 3 years of being on top,
Like, look at this.
Grand's
You know what I mean? Like, okay, so Summoning Salt's video has, what, 2.1 million views? And look at this. There's one person in chat here going, oh my God, that's crazy.
One off an OX.
After nearly
So it's like, you know what I mean, guys? Like, you know what I mean? It's, I don't know what word or emotion or phrase I would use to describe that, but it's like, this person was just watched by 2.1 million people in Summoning Salt's video, and then like one person in their stream, you know?
3 years of being
After setting
on
a
top,
world
Grand's
record.
2813 had been beaten. It took a monumental effort from a huge group of runners, and ultimately, Clipboard Guy was the one.
Who's Blood? Who's Blood here? Blood's losing aura by the second.
In true speedrunning fashion, the community immediately turned their attention to the next milestone. They were now just 10 seconds away from the next barrier, the sub 28. Sub 30 came in 2018. Sub 29 came in 2019.
Oh, that's his brother.
Now, it was 2023, and there was no sub 28. It all comes back to the world record gap. New strategies were found in the last few years, but they were pretty minor. And with Grand, Jason, and SBD Wolf...
The 27th anniversary of Ocarina of Time? That's awesome. Man, guys, you know what I did one time? You can look at it at my old YouTube channel if you care to. But I beat Ocarina of Time in one stream, and I didn't sleep, and I didn't take breaks, and it took me 15 hours and 40-something minutes. Man, I wish I would have known that ahead of time. Rassilus.
Away in 2020, it took time for other runners to catch up to their skill level.
Be kind of fun.
But now with a minute barrier on the line, the stakes were higher than ever. Of the three former top runners, Jason and SBD
the old
Wolf
channel's
had
Trevor
no
Treefort,
interest
but
in
it's Trevor
returning to the
Treefort Shorts
category.
now.
But Grand was different.
At Trevor
set the first
Tree Shorts.
sub 29 4 years ago. Returning to set the first sub 28 would be pretty epic. He had his work cut out for him if he wanted to be clipboard guy there, but Grand wanted to go for it. So in 2023, for the first time in more than 3 years, Grand was back. With such a long time off, he had to relearn the route, as well as learn the minor developments that had been made since 2020. To help, Grand used a practice hack of the game with RNG control built by SBD Wolf. It allowed him to better practice getting certain RNG on different fights, so he was more prepared for any situation the game gave him, especially...
You know, here's what I say, and VOD Frogs, I'm sorry that I'm not commentating on Cuphead as much as you want me to, but here's what I will say. There's something special about Ocarina of Time, and I don't know if I'm blinded by nostalgia, but like, how can anyone be certain about that? How can anyone be certain about any game they like is not blinded by nostalgia, any game they liked in their childhood? There's something special about Ocarina of Time. And like, you know, guys, you know what I used to do? I used to get an Obelisk. You probably remember this. You could probably tell the story to the exact same quality that I could. But I used to get a 12-pack of Mountain Dew Pitch Black when it was an exclusive drink. And when I was like 8 or 10, something like that. And me and one of my good buddies from elementary school, he would come over and we'd stay up till like 4 a.m. just playing Ocarina of Time and just trying to beat the entire thing. And, I don't know, guys, but the storytelling is so good. And then there's this one. Have you guys seen this video too? Guys, last little detour that I'm going to take here. But have you guys seen this too? It's called Ocarina of Time is a subclass, or a masterclass in subtext, I think it's what it's called. Masterclass in subtext. It's this video. So take a look at this real quick. Ocarina of Time, a masterclass in subtext by Good Blood. Which, by the way, guys, huge missed opportunity to spell this B-L-U-D. But this video is phenomenal. And it talks about, like, Ocarina of Time from the perspective of, like, being an adult, which one doesn't consider when they're playing this as a kid. It's so good, though. I highly, highly recommend that. It's so good.
Rare ones. As he got back into shape, Grand set a few records on individual fights, getting ready to go for the full game record. But during his practice, it was Clipboard Guy who got the next chance. He pulled ahead of the record in Grim Matchstick, then continued with a Good Doctor Call.
Rashless, that actually sounds fun.
After Warman in Aisle 3, he was officially on his best pace ever. He then entered the very random Briny Beard. He'll do 3 attacks in Phase 1. He can either fire his gun or call in an animal attack, squid, shark, or dogfish. The first attack is always the gun animal attack. These two are 50-50 likely to be the gun or an animal attack. Gun attacks are generally faster, while dogfish is the worst because you have to wait a long time. Clipboard Guy got 2 guns and then dogfish.
How many guys? Black box here, black box here, black box here. I mean, how many guys? Okay, seriously, doesn't Tails? Do you know why there's so many black boxes here? Like, does this guy just have a bunch of wieners on his screen?
A little bit of time. But then he got a gold split on King Dice. His best possible time going into the Devil was a 27:59.9.
Wow.
Time for the moment of truth. Serpent or Spider?
Serpent! Clock in, guys.
Serpent. But with this borderline pace, he needed to go for one more thing. The Devil Freeze. If you deal enough damage during the Geo Buffer animation to move to the third phase of the fight, the game stops the screen scroll and essentially breaks the devil fight. His animations still play, but he doesn't attack and tears don't drop down. But importantly, stopping the screen scroll early lets the devil's hitbox be closer to the platforms than normal. This means you can land double damage Lobber EXs and end the fight faster. However, going for the devil freeze is super risky. If you over damage him and transition past phase 2 before going down the hole, the game soft locks and you can't beat the fight. So on this pace, getting the sub 28 required hitting the devil freeze. Despite the risk of soft locking, Clipboard Guy had to go for it.
Come on, Clipboard Guy!
Not quite enough.
Oh,
Wow.
close. Is that a world record though?
It's unfortunate, but because I could have gotten double glitch there, and if I did, that probably would have been sub 20.
Is that a world record though?
Still really good run.
It just wasn't quite enough damage. The sub 28 would have to wait. But the blueprint for such a run was now in place. Players needed a fast enough run going into the devil, and then they needed the serpent pattern plus the devil freeze. If any of these three things weren't in place, then sub 28 was just about impossible. Clipboard Guy and Grand were the only active runners.
Sub 28, just about impossible. Yeah, so guys, basically nobody's ever going to hit it. No one's ever going to hit it, guys. I don't know what the rest of this video is going to be, but I mean, it's basically impossible.
With the potential to do this. It was a race to see who could get everything lined up first.
Okay, I don't want to RP this. I don't want to RP this.
But man, that minion just totally messed me up.
You know, Summoning Salt just does a great job of just showing you, like, the grind of this. And this doesn't even, like, hint at how many runs it takes. World record.
It's a world record. It's not the sub 28, but I got record with Spider, man.
Phoenix, that's weird.
Take it.
That is weird.
Oh my god. Oh my god, dude, what?
You know, it's crazy because they're beating each other by like hundredths of a second. That's insane. That is insane. Actually, I guess that, you know, that really does actually speak to how optimized this was. So never mind. I'm certain that Summoning Salt is going to introduce some new tech or stuff, something that's been introduced since then. But like the fact that they're beating each other by hundredths of a second in something that's 28-minute speedrun is crazy.
There was always something missing. Either the spider pattern or a missed devil freeze.
That genuinely does say something.
And now that Ground had finally gotten both in a run, it just happened to be on a pace that was too slow for sub 28. There seemed to be no way around it. It had to be a good run with a really good devil. Well, on August 16th, 2023,
I can believe
got
it,
a run
Tails.
going that I would say definitely qualifies as a good pace into the devil.
Wait, this is the... Oh.
Let's go, dude! Sub 28!
As it turns out, the pace was so good that despite an awful pattern, Grand was still able to get it. He'd really gotten just about everything. A good Baroness pattern,
W Grand.
glitch, good Grim Matchstick and Rumor Honeybottom's luck, a great Briny Beer pattern, plus so much more. And as the celebration began for yet another minute barrier broken, Grand knew he wasn't done. There was a glaring 12-second time loss on the devil. There was potential to do so much better. Both Grand and Clipboard Guy had to keep going. Trying to match this pace into the devil was gonna be tough, so Grand looked to really further optimize each individual fight. One thing that helped was DPS improvements, making sure he was maximizing damage dealt at all times. He worked on managing his cooldown, the time between weapon shots, so that even when he did a Calva swap, he could always ensure a Lobber shot would pop out just before the EX. It made only a few frames of difference in damage, but it could add up to several seconds across the run if properly managed. Grand also figured something out for one of the toughest fights, Phantom Express. We haven't talked about this fight yet. It's the third to last boss in the run, just before King Dice and the Devil. And it's notable for not having the overdamage mechanics that most other fights have. Damage does not carry over between phases. A crucial moment in the fight comes in phase 2. Here, the conductor comes out of the train, and you want to defeat him before he finishes his attack and goes back to the train.
This is another animation that I love. I love that animation where he just goes... That's such a great animation.
Ideally without taking damage. If you can't, you lose at least a couple seconds. It's very difficult to one-cycle the conductor. You essentially can't miss any shots through the whole
He's like doing
sequence.
this, bro, he's like,
Then
the skeleton's like doing this with his eyebrows too, so when he moves, he goes like... It's so hard to do that, like to make that face and change my eyebrows at the same time.
Top of that, if the first pumpkin spawns on the left, you're forced to damage boost to get the one cycle, leaving you with just 1 HP for the dangerous phase 4. But in October 2023, Grand found a simple solution to this. He could briefly move the cart over, then quickly back to center. It cost about a third of a second, in exchange for not losing the HP and having a much smaller chance of dying later in the fight. Cuphead is full of these tiny consistency boosts that in a vacuum don't seem like much, but it's when you add them all up that they really start to shine. Optimizing weapon
That was cool
cooldown,
editing.
avoiding 1 HP of damage, these small improvements helped Grand get more paces into the Devil. But as adamant as Grand was that the record could go lower, at the end of the day, he was still at the mercy of RNG. September 14th, 2023. Grand's on another good run. He gets a good Baroness pattern, good luck on Rumor Honeybottoms, and a gold split on Dr. Call. Then on Phantom Express, he gets the one cycle in phase 2. It's all lining up. Grand has a 7-second lead into the Devil, but you know what time it is.
Yep. Come on, guys, pray for Serpent or Dragon. Oh.
Still
That
a
was quick.
small record, but once again there was no Serpent. A month later, it was a similar story. A few seconds ahead into the Devil, with potential for a big record if he could get Serpent.
That's insane. That's crazy. He's still able to get the record.
In November, Grand had a run with some notable flaws. He got hit at the start of both Grim Matchstick and Calamaria, and got worse RNG on Briny Beard. For once, he was behind into the Devil. So of course, this is the run he finally got Serpent.
Just kill him? Okay, I'll take it, man.
It just wasn't fair. Of course Grand was happy he broke the record, but he once again didn't have everything line up. It still wasn't quite the run he was looking for. Over the next couple weeks, Grand
Yeah, but
set
here's
a
the thing is like I get that it matters. I don't know, when I see stuff like this, like I guess for example, Super Punch-Out, right? Like when I see stuff like that, it's like you're the best in the world. You know what I mean? Like you're the best in the world. And it's just like it's just RNG dependent. It's just by chance are you going to get the perfect run. But you're already the best in the world. You know? Like if I were in this guy's position, I probably would be doing the same thing where it's like, "Oh, dang it, I didn't get the perfect seed coming in faster for this split or whatever." But like at the same time, it's like you're doing great, you know, you're the world record holder.
couple more small world records. Just a few months ago, he was practically retired from the category. Now, he was unstoppable. He'd set 9 world records in a row, taking the time down from 28:03 to 27:45. With this level of domination, it's easy to forget, but Grand wasn't the only record contender. Clipboard Guy was still playing. His personal best was 27:54, and his goal was a 27:4x. As Grand kept lowering the record, the gap between the two players increased. But Clipboard Guy knew what he was capable of. On November 20...
Sorry.
29th, he got a 658 aisle 1, meaning he was ahead of the record by 1 second. It continued in aisle 2. He got Beppy Glitch, along with really good RNG on Grim Matchstick.
That was just such a
Entering
perfect
aisle
screenshot.
3,
He just was
Clipboard
so
Guy
locked
was
in.
14 seconds ahead of his personal best. He started to falter a bit. He missed 2 EXs on Rumor Honeybottoms and slowly bled time over the next couple fights. But then, Briny Beard just kept shooting over and over. A great pattern, a great fight, and Clipboard Guy was on an unreal pace.
Come on, Clipboard
He tried
Guy.
to stay calm, but
Come
he knew
on.
this was a ridiculous chance. Phantom Express was going to be a huge moment in this run. One of the hardest fights, with the pressure mounting. Phase 1 was straightforward as he quickly took out the ghost.
Black boxes.
In Phase 2, he tried to 1-cycle the conductor,
There's
but his
tripping
DPS wasn't good
black
enough,
boxes.
so he had to settle for the 2-cycle. Yet he kept an extra HP into Phase 4, and he played beautifully to get the 1-cycle on the train. It wasn't a perfect split, but on this pace it was more than good enough. He made it to the Devil nearly 21 seconds ahead of his personal best. He could get as fast as a 27:34 here. Even if he bled 11 seconds on the Devil, he could still break the world record.
Come on.
Clipboard Guy was
Get the serpent.
absolutely feeling the pressure.
Guys, clock in
It
for the
was time to
serpent.
go. He played Phase 1 of the Devil, not sure what to expect.
No.
The spider hurt, but it was okay. He still had the lead. He had to stay locked in. Time for the Devil Freeze. He set up the exact right amount of damage with lobber shots. This was precisely enough for the Devil Freeze to work. But then, he second-guessed himself. Clipboard Guy fired one more shot.
Dude,
Soft lock. Run over.
Wait, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I forget. So, I'm sorry. Would not have taken the shot there. Have skipped a transition animation. I forgot. I actually forget what happened. How long left in the video? About 10 minutes. Oh, that's the glitch he was talking about, where you can skip the animation. Okay. Because you go so fast it breaks. Yeah. Okay, I remember. Okay.
It's crazy how you can play nearly perfectly for 27.5 minutes, but one extra shot.
I gotcha.
and it
Gotcha,
all
welcome to
comes
the stream.
crashing down. It's rare to get good enough luck through the run to get a chance at the world record, so whenever you do get it, the pressure massively ramps up. And it's incredibly easy to mess up once you realize you've gotten the luck. And if you do, you have to play over and over waiting for it to show up again. It really was a cruel metagame. Meanwhile, Grand was still playing for a 27-3x, but he too was down on his luck. He had that huge streak of spiders on the Devil, and in general, he was frustrated with RNG. Grand wondered if maybe the grind wasn't worth it anymore. Perhaps he should have stopped after the sub 28. And now seeing what Clipboard Guy
Ribby
could
and
do,
Croaks.
it would be easy to step aside and let him get the record. But instead, just a few days later, Grand made it all a moot point when he set his self-described ultimate run of Cuphead.
Guys, self-described ultimate run?
The Discord
Wait, what?
server
Wait, what?
freaked out
There's no video? It just shows the record?
when they saw this 27:33. Grand had overshot his goal by 6 seconds. This was even faster than the pace Clipboard Guy was on.
Mac, way to go. Mac, honestly, you're showing true perseverance. Honestly, way to go.
A few days earlier. Grand started this run with the best Isle 1 ever performed, a ridiculous 650, and he just kept it going.
How long did it take
He
me?
was on his best pace ever for 18 out of the 20 splits in this run. The biggest time saves were on Cagney and Rumor. On the Devil, he got the Serpent.
What's
and
been the
didn't-
most surprising thing in the video? Honestly, probably the switching the weapons thing. Being able to like just consistently fire stuff the entire time. That was probably the coolest thing, IMO. Also, doing a specific amount of damage to skip animations or the soft locks. That's also been super cool. Like the Beppy the Clown skip. I thought that was pretty cool. Anything like that I think is awesome.
Get the Devil Freeze, but more importantly, he didn't soft lock. One other little thing that helped Grand, he was really good at star skip. After finishing a level, if you press A on the same frame that the stars start to be counted, both stars will appear at once instead of one after another.
Okay, that's it. Someone just typed this video is so long. That's it. Guys, do I need to say it again? Okay? I'm praying that our attention spans are not cooked. Need I say this again? Guys, sometimes things that are worth watching and listening to need build-up. Okay? Some of the best movies I've ever seen need build-up. Some of the best songs I've ever heard need build-up. Don't believe me? Let's listen to Cyber Strider Madeline from Strawberry Jam. If I was a TikTok doom scroller, I would have clicked off this already and been like, where's the drop? Blood can't produce a drop. I'm already falling asleep because the song isn't going, oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 no. But if you keep going and you let the song breathe, you get things like this. Now, I'm not going to play the rest of this 7-minute song, but here's what I will say, guys. Sometimes the best pieces of content out there require a good amount of build-up. So guys, in my opinion, this video isn't long enough. In my opinion, this video is too short. Okay? I blinked and it was over.
Runners usually try to mash and hit it since there's no good cue. Grand worked very hard on his mashing technique to improve the chance that he hit it. Eventually, he got to average 20 presses per second, meaning he'd hit star skip fairly often. This 27:33 was a huge triumph for Grand. He'd overcome mental agony to get this far, and he'd finished it off with the run of his
Boy, welcome to the stream.
While the recent record timeline looks really clean for him, that wasn't the reality of the situation. He'd nearly lost the record on multiple occasions, and his own mental struggles were present the whole way. But he stuck with it. He made it through, and ended with a ridiculous world record. Grand was finally...
My favorite song is Oh No, Oh No, Oh No, 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 10-hour repeat.
done.
Chapter 5.
It's now 2024, and this is the state of the Cuphead leaderboard. Grandius has a huge lead. Clipboard Guy is in second place, but not actively running the game. And beyond that, nobody is even close. It's a mix of inactive runners from years ago, and modern runners who are good, but not on world record level. There wasn't much hope in beating Grand's 27:33. And so, nothing changed through the first half of 2024. Then in July, a runner named Mr. Butter became the third member of the Sub-28 Club, getting a time of 27:55. However, he didn't pursue...
Guys, sometimes when I hear names like Hot Dog 62 and Mr. Butter, like, does anybody else get a little jealous when you're like, God, I wish I would have thought of that? Why can't I be Mr. Butter? Come on.
A lower time, so he wasn't really a threat to the record. In August, a runner named Quinsley got a huge PB of 27:40, knocking Clipboard Guy out of second place. But Quinsley couldn't beat his time either, as his run was a massive PB for him. Perhaps to take it the rest of the way, Cuphead needed a runner with a bit more experience. Someone like SBD Wolf. That month, a local gaming convention near SBD Wolf was looking for speedrunners to perform live. He thought Cuphead would be a good run to showcase, so he started practicing for it. SPD Wolf hadn't played the category in more than 5 years. His personal best of 29:21, once a world record, was now in 19th place. But even though he hadn't been actively playing, he'd still watched Grand and others over the past few years, so he had an idea of the new strategies and techniques. He worked on implementing them, and his personal bests started to drop. 28:48, 28:26, 28:13. He played live at the convention.
You know, here's what I will say. I'm pretty sure this SBD Wolf guy is the same person that we saw previously in the video. And when I say I'm pretty sure, I'm 100% positive. Here's what I will say, though. Odinator, when you say I need to watch Hollow Knight speedrunning, I don't think anybody does it like Summoning Salt. I don't think anyone sets up their videos like Summoning Salt does it. And for the love of God, Summoning Salt, please, God, make a Breath of the Wild speedrun progression. Please. Breath of the Wild deserves love. It's so interesting. It's so cool.
But decided he wanted to keep going. 28:03, 28:01, 27:51. What SPD Wolf was doing was unbelievable. He hadn't played in years, since back in the days when Lobber and Spread was brand new and really basic. He had learned 5 years of advancements in a couple months, and he was back to being a world record contender. But he had to act fast. Grand was considered the world's best player, and he could come back at any moment to defend his record. If SPD Wolf wanted to snag the world record, he had to do it right now. He began comparing against the world record in his splits, and it all came down to a run on November 20th, 2024. SPD Wolf fell a bit behind early, and he accidentally took damage on Wally, which prevented the fastest kill. But he had a fast Beppy glitch to pull back even. The world record had a really good Rumor Huddy bottom, so he lost time there, but a good Briny pattern made up that time, and a gold split on King Dice put him in the lead. This was it. Just the devil to go. If SPD Wolf got Spider, then he couldn't break the record, but would still be able to get a large personal best. But if he got Serpent, followed by the Devil Freeze,
guys, Prage for Serpent! Prage for Dragon!
For the moment of truth.
Okay, here's what I will say. Here's what I will say. You never, in Summoning Salt videos, I've watched enough Summoning Salt videos to know that it's about a 50-50. If Summoning Salt sets up such a crazy climax like this, it's either 50% of the time the runner actually gets it, and 50% of the time the runner just doesn't get it, and it's heartbreaking. You never know. Serpent! Oh, so it's halfway through the attack animation. Okay. What's up, Fab?
I was not gonna get record on. That's a freaking good run. Oh my god.
He got the Serpent, but a bad pattern meant getting the Devil Freeze was impossible. He still beat his run by a mile, but fell just short of the world
he's
record.
2 seconds behind?
Things were looking really tight at the top of the leaderboard.
Well, then in that case, no clapping.
And that put the pressure on Grand. If he wanted to hang on to his record, he had to come back and figure out where he could save time. So he started practicing again. And over the last year, Grandius has embarked on a journey in 1.1 speedruns, working on new strategies and pouring in attempts to lower the world record.
Alright, whatever.
That's it, right? That's the new record.
A big change he made was focusing heavily on the spider. He spent hours mapping out all 20 spider patterns and their offsets, figuring out the optimal way to recognize and play each scenario. He found ways to make certain spider patterns only a small time loss. Not as good as Serpents, but not automatically run over.
Guys, listen to that song in the background. Did you hear that song in the background? The Team Tiddly Tom. Team Tiddly Tom. Right there, guys. Team Tiddly Tom.
Let's go, dude! Yes! Actually clutched out an insane double.
He also heavily grinded individual level records.
Also, world record.
He'd done this in the past too, but this time he took it to a new level. At one point, he managed to hold all 19 world records using the in-game timer.
Let's go, you god!
Whoa, 27-2x.
And boy, did Grand work on new strategies.
6 seconds is crazy.
He went for a more consistent clip in Forest Follies that allowed him to get more runs going. He implemented a more consistent strategy on Goopy, first used by a runner named Michael. There were many small half a second to a second time saves that added up across the run.
I did not know you could shoot the chain there.
Yes, dude, I clutched it!
Wow, 27-1x.
There were also some collaborative efforts. Grond, SPD Wolf, and Mr. Butter worked together to optimize all 60 patterns on Baroness. Mr. Butter
25 cents for a lick, 50 cents for the whole
exactly
taste.
what to do depending on which mini-bosses you got, and showing how fast each combination was. Grond used this to his advantage.
Let's go!
He beat his record by like a little over a half a second,
In
I
late
think.
2024, Grond took the record down to 27:19. He came back in the spring of 2025 and improved it to 27:16.
Let's go, dude! Yes! No way, we called it!
Grond has set the past 16 world records in Cuphead 1.1. It's been steady improvements over the past couple years.
Grond is based as hell.
Uninterrupted by any
I saw
of Cuphead's other talented
May something
runners.
2025.
The last record set by someone other than Grondius was when Clipboard Guy got a 28:03. Now the record is down to 27:16.
That's crazy.
Is this over? Is this just Grond's world record until the end of time?
Surely.
Well, I certainly don't think so. Recently, SPD Wolf has been making a push for the 1.1 record, and in September he got a sub 27:30, just 11 seconds off the record. And ahead of him are both Clipboard Guy and
11
Hoosly,
seconds.
who each got personal bests just a few weeks ago. That's 3 runners right on Grondius' tail. He still has the lead for now, but that could change at any moment, and the long reign of Grondius could soon come to an end. This type of activity at the top of the leaderboard hasn't been seen in years, but it could be just what Cuphead needs to eventually make it to the next minute barrier. From the early days of Luigi, Solreth, and TMR, all the way to Grondius' dominance in the modern era, Cuphead's minute barriers have always had significance. Each record holder, every top-level runner, has all played a part in bringing the record to where it is today.
So
These players and more
27-16,
will
right?
help take the speedrun to its next level, and the Cuphead 1.1 world record will live on for years to come. Thanks for watching.
Guys,
Thanks again
yet
to War-
another fatty banger by Summoning Salt. Also, guys, War Thunder. Guys, let's pull this up real quick. I do have to go super soon. Like, very, very soon I have to go. But, let me look at this. Let me look at the speedrun categories. Cuphead. 156 active players. Let's take a look. 27-16. Oh, there's... Wow. Okay, take a look at this. There's 2 people. There's actually 2 people that have beaten Grondius. We have Grondius with 27-16 6 months ago in May. The same one that we saw earlier. We have Kinsey with a 27-12 26 days ago. And then SPD Wolf yesterday. Yesterday said a 27-10. That's crazy. Dang, okay. What did I call it earlier in the video? Like 19 minutes I thought they were going to be at? I'm not even close. Dang. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's cool. All right, guys. As I was saying, guys. Life. Many people struggle. Many people don't know how to handle it. And yet we all wake up just the same every morning, except for the ones who don't. But they can't really talk to us, so I don't really know what to say to them. However, you woke up this morning. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching this stream and/or video. VOD Frogs, I'm talking to you. You woke up this morning, and I'm here to tell you that's okay. And I'm proud of you. I'm happy you're here. I'm happy you woke up, because in this game of life, we all struggle. And yet, you still woke up this morning. Guys, I have to say that although things can get tough and things can get rough, I'm glad you're here. Because we are all in this together, in this silly little game called life. This is November 21st, 2025. Guys, 07, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out, guys. I will see you not tomorrow because I'm going to be busy all day tomorrow, but I'll see you guys Sunday. Okay? Peace out. 07, thanks so much for watching. Peace out.